Hi guys, my name's Daniel and I test and review 360 cameras, and today I'm going to be comparing the Yi360 VR and the Garmin VIRB 360. Now these are two 5.7K 360 cameras and I went and recorded with them in the same location at the same time in a few different locations, a few different environments, and this is the result. I put the videos together. Now for this example, I can pretty much tell you that the Yi360 VR is the better camera in this circumstance, mostly because the detail is a lot more, there's a lot more detail, the bitrate is a lot higher, and there's a lot more details, especially in the distance. The program used to render the VIRB 360 video, the native program, isn't consistent when creating the bitrate. For some reason, it just decided it was going to be really low this time. It's certainly capable of a lot better. So I'm going to show you the video just of the Yi360 now, and as you can see, it's very bright. It's overexposed. That's the one issue, but otherwise it's very detailed, and I'm really impressed with the camera is capable of. Okay, this is the VIRB 360, and yeah, I mean it's less overexposed. I think the color are more accurate, the lighting's more accurate, but the bit rate's just too low for it to be very clear. Now, this next example is kind of indoors, kind of outdoors, but you can see kind of the same issue. In this one, actually, the VIRB 360 was rendered at a maximum bitrate. I used a different program to ensure I got the maximum quality, and you can see the difference straight away. And I think in this example, the VIRB 360 is the superior camera. It's not as overexposed. The color is more accurate, the lighting is more accurate, whereas the Yi360 is looking awesome as well. But it's just the light is too overexposed, and it's saturated more than reality, which can be good sometimes, but gives it a lot more pop and color, but yeah, it's not as accurate. So yeah, this is the Yi360 just on its own. It's looking great, and I should point out that the Yi360 is way cheaper than the Garmin VIRB by at least a couple of $100. But the VIRB in this example is producing really good video at 5.7K. It's probably the overall best video camera I've used in 360. Okay, this is my next example, and you can kind of tell the difference in color here more than anything else. The Yi360 oversaturating the sky, making it a bit more blue than it actually was, and I don't really think that. I prefer it to be as natural, as realistic to life as possible. So the Garmin, I think, is up here, but again, it's just an exposure issue, I guess, with the Yi360. But again, the bit rate was not as high for the VIRB, so it's inconsistent. You really need to use an external program to get the maximum out of it, whereas the Yi360 seems to be very consistent. If you choose to render 120 megabits per second, it will do that. So that's why it's consistently kind of recording better video, but the capability isn't as high as the VIRB 360. But saying that, this is looking great. I'm really impressed, and I've been using the Yi for a couple of weeks, but it's quickly becoming one of my favorite cameras, and it's really easy to use. Whereas the VIRB 360 is slightly harder to use. It has a lot more features. I mean, it has water resistance, really good stabilization, augmented overlay, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, kind of depends what you're looking for. So here is at night. Some recorded at night, and to be honest, both of these are pretty awful at low light. 360, but the Yi360 VR is pretty much unusable just because there's so much noise. It really struggles in low light conditions, whereas at least the VIRB 360 it's not recording lights very much. I mean, it's very dark, but there's not as much noise, so you could at least use it if you're in a slightly brighter area. But the Yi360 is pretty much unusable in low light, so that's very much a downer for the Yi360. So all in all, I would say that if you just wanted a video camera, just a standard 360 video camera, you didn't really want to move much, you didn't really care about water resistance or any action cam features, then the Yi360 is by far the better deal. You get way more bang for your buck, and it's recording really good high quality 5.7K 360. The VIRB 360 is more expensive, but it has a lot more features, and it's basically like a GoPro action camera. You can take it skiing and it's not going to break, and it's water resistant, has this augmented overlay, it has all kinds of other accessories and sensors inside the camera, which is why it's a lot more expensive. But it's not as consistent, it's harder to work with, harder to get the best quality video out of it automatically, whereas the Yi360 just seems to be able to do it very quickly and very easily. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you decide between these two cameras. To be honest, either of them are great, so whatever you decide, hope you enjoy it. And if you want more information on these cameras, then check the links below. I've put where you can buy them and a bit more information about each one. So yeah, I hope this has been useful, and stick around if you like 360 cameras. I've got plenty more comparisons and reviews coming up.